It's time for The Pet Show with America's favorite pet expert, Warren Eckstein. Warren is the author of How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want and How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want. He's here to answer all your pet and animal questions. And now, Warren Eckstein.
Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to The Pet Show. Is your Basset acting a little bashful? Are you being harassed by your Himalayan kitten? Does your Frenchie have you freaking out? Well, if you love animals, I'm assuming you do, care about wildlife and the environment, and want to really understand your dogs and cats' behavior the way they think almost as well as they understand yours. Maybe you're a bit confused about your dog or cat's behavior, or just want to improve their lifestyle. You know what to do. Stay tuned, because once again, right here, right now, it is time for The Pet Show. Yeah, this is it, America's first and only real pet psychology, real pet training, pet behavior, and of course, pet lifestyle show. So hop up on my couch, bring those furry little buddies with you, folks, because it is that time once again to let the animal analyzing begin. Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show, the place where we absolutely, positively, never a doubt about it, really love, really adore, and really respect pets and animals as much as you do. By the way, if you want to join me on the Evergreen Pet Show family, let's face it, we all love to talk about our pets. If you have a question or a comment about your dog's behavior, maybe you have a new rescue dog and he's a little shy, or maybe the rescue dog's suffering from abandonment issues, maybe he's not housebroken, maybe you took in a feral cat and he's not using the litter box properly. That's what we do on the show. We will help you resolve any issues behaviorally that you may be confronting with your dogs and cats. And as I say every week, a lot more likely, any issues your dogs and cats may confront with you. So it's a great time to give me a call. Just a reminder, everyone that calls into the Pet Show and gets to talk to me live on the air will get a fabulous gift. Don't get excited. You know by now it's not for you, but a beautiful gift for your dog or cat. Many of the items I give away worth as much as $30, $40, even $50. So if you have a question or a comment, want to share a great story, even talk about how your dogs and cats made it through the 4th of July, or what you plan on doing for summer vacation, you're going with your pet, any questions you may have, or if you just like to brag a little bit, I'd love to hear from my listeners that have rescued recently, adopted recently, found a stray and took, whatever you did, I want to hear from you, because every time you call in, it encourages other people to do the same thing. And again, a reminder, if you call into the Pet Show, you get to talk to me live. A great gift will be on its way to you. Phone number, by the way, here at the Pet Show. You can always watch me live or ask some questions on YouTube as well. We're broadcasting on YouTube live today. It's youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. You can watch it live on YouTube. I'll take some questions from there as well. Or if you're a phone person like me and you want to give me a call, here's the phone number, 866-870-KRLA. 866-870-KRLA. That's 866-870-5752. 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Excuse me. As always, plenty of time to answer all of your pet and animal questions. Lots of great stuff to give away. I hope everyone had a great 4th of July and survived it. I know this is the most dangerous week for dogs and cats, and I posted this on my Facebook page. People just assumed the 4th of July was over, so therefore they didn't have to worry. Every year I hear reports from all over the country and Canada from people, veterinarians, that say, not the fireworks while they were being shot, but the next day there were unexploded fireworks on the ground. There are all kinds of garbage on the ground left from fireworks that could be just as dangerous because there's still gunpowder there if your dogs or cats get into them. So you have to be careful that as well. So I talked about that, also something to take into consideration. Again, the phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. That is the way to go. I'm laughing. We got some great topics I want to get to today, and I'm really going to try to get to them. I know it's rare that I do, and I put them on my YouTube channel afterwards, but I will try to get to this. What is, you ready for this? You all sitting down now, come on. What is open bar, closed bar dog training? You heard me right. Open bar, closed bar dog training. Does it really work? And do I think it's a good idea? Last call or not? Open bar, closed bar, dog training. We'll talk about that coming up, and take your guesses at what you might think it is. Also coming up, are your cats fighting like they should be in the UFC? I mean, cat fights sound really, really horrible, and sometimes they are. Coming up, I'm going to teach you guys how to be a good referee. That's right, how to be a good referee if your cats are fighting, how to break it up. And listen to me carefully. So many behaviorists, so many trainers, so many cat people say, listen, if the cats are fighting, squirt water at them, squirt water at them. Why would you want to make your cat afraid of water? There are other things you can do. If you want to be a good referee in that UFC fight between you two cats, I'll explain that coming up a little bit later. Also, lost dog, lost cat, social media to the rescue. You know, I was very, very late, getting involved with social media. I think I sent my first email a couple of years ago. So the bottom line is I've really been following it, and that's why, we're really expanding the Pet Show social media. You got to check that out, facebook.com/Warren Pet Talk, facebook.com/Warren Pet Talk. The reason I bring that up is social media has been an absolute boom in helping lost dogs and lost cats find their way home. So we're going to talk about that. And also coming up, got a frog in my throat. Is your dog being rude? Is your dog being rude? Is your cat being rude or pushy? Some more dumb advice from the internet. Also coming up, is your dog howling or sighing? What does it mean? Plenty of time to answer all of your animal questions. Lots of great stuff to give away. Again, that phone number, 866-870-KRLA. So if your pet is jumping, chewing, humping, scratching, confused about the litter box, not housebroken, doesn't get along with other dogs, hates your new boyfriend, humps everything in sight, give me a call. Let me know. If you get through to me, a great gift will be on its way. 866-870-KRLA. 866-870-5752. Must be a hairball, folks. It must be a hairball. Question of the day. How does your dog or cat communicate with you? Molly, my little guy, one of my little guys, my adorable little Molly, the sweetest dog in the whole wide world, she looks at me and kind of makes believe she's barking. It's like, that's how she communicates. Now, Willie, on the other hand, who is absolutely insane, takes on my personality, according to Denise. He comes over and whacks you. It's just that simple. Now, can I stop it? Yeah, but that's his love. He enjoys it. He comes over, takes his little paw. I mean, only weighs 10 pounds. Kind of whacks you a little bit. That's his way of saying, I want to play. I want to go outside. I want to hang out. What do you want to do? How does your dog or cat communicate with you? I want to know. Give me a call if you get through. I will send you a great gift. 866-870-KRLA. 866-870-5752. Also, by the way, a lot of people been wanting to try my Hugs and Kisses vitamin mineral supplement treats. It is probably at this point the longest, most successful vitamin mineral supplement on the market. It's been around for over 35 years. That's when I developed it. The reason I bring that up, grab your pens, grab your pencils, because coming up this week, I'm going to tell you all how to save a tremendous amount of money, either at Amazon or Walmart, on their special days coming up this week. I'll talk about that. 20% off all Hugs and Kisses. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But if you've been thinking about trying it, hey, what are you waiting for? This is the week to do it. I'll give you the dates it starts and all that information coming up. Phone numbers again, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752, 866-870-KRLA. That is the way to get through. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away, as I said as well. Some calls already coming in. I do have an open line or two. We're beginning here, so we'll talk about that as well. Also coming up, I didn't get to it last week, but I wanted to talk about it if we get time this week. The concept that so many of my listeners are out there, let's face it, we're finally getting out. We're taking our dogs with us. We're going for walks here. We're going for walks there. What would you do if your dog or cat was stung by a bee? Would you know what to do? Would you know what to look for? Would you know how to react? We'll talk about that a little bit later on the show as well. As always, plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. If I seem like I'm pushing my social media today, I'm telling you, during the week now, I share so much information there. And every week I get frustrated because the phones are full when I go off the air. I can't answer as many questions. On my YouTube channel, it's free. youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Subscribe. Every day I'm putting great information there, 1-minute tips, longer videos. You're going to want to check it out. I think I just posted this week about if you know anyone who's pregnant, or if you're a grandma, an aunt, an uncle, or you're pregnant yourself, you're not going to want to miss some of the stuff I posted on my YouTube channel this week. So check it out, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Subscribe. As I said, it's free, and you will get lots and lots of information. Again, the number 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. was kind of an interesting week for me. You guys know I have a couple of medical issues. I don't hide it from anybody. And I got to tell you, it was, rheumatoid arthritis, and some days are tougher than others, and some days you kind of stiffen. I got to tell you, if it was not for Molly and Willie, I believe that our pets are absolutely the most amazing things in the world, the most amazing living things. And I'll tell you why I love them so much and why I try to save as many as I can. I have never been in a situation where my dogs, my cats, my pigs, my chickens, whatever I had at the time, did not pick up on it and try to help me. How about you? When you're feeling down, depressed, maybe there's a loss in the family, maybe there's stress, a divorce going on, whatever. Do you find that your pets, this is kind of like a toss-out question, do you find that your dogs and cats are there to help comfort you? And do you find that sometimes it's more comforting to be around your dog or cat than it is to be around people? I do. I know I'm chatting here a lot, but I do. I mean, I love people, and I understand they're loving. Warren, when I first lost my first wife in 1990, and so many of my friends came around me, and I appreciate the love of all of them and what they try to do. But I got to be honest with you. The way I got through that devastation was because that time I had so many animals, and there's nothing. Here I go again. As far as I'm concerned, the honest compassion of a dog or cat is absolutely amazing. Want to comment on that? Give me a call as well. The phone number 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me do this, okay? Let me take a quick break. Then I'll get to Catherine, and I'll get to Gerald. Is it Gerald? Gerald and Lauren. I'll get to you, Cynthia, as well. But let me take a quick break here and tell you about my friends over at Lucy Pet Food. And why? Because I've been talking. Felix the cat. So, before I got on the air today, you might want to think, what were you watching on TV this morning? I know you get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. What could you possibly be watching? The news? Getting all the information you need to know? No, as a matter of fact, I was watching Popeye Hour. That's exactly right. Popeye, olive oil. Watched them all. You know what? Sometimes you just have to disappear from reality. And to me, that's Popeye. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. I'm going to get to you in a second, Catherine. But this is a quote that I came up with probably 50 years ago because I got tired of people saying, you know, I tried this with my dog. I tried this with my cat. It's not working. It's not happening quick enough. This is my quote. Feel free to use it. There is no such thing as trying. There's only progress in small steps. People want instant gratification. If you want something with instant gratification, it's not going to be something with a brain and a heart. So again, there's no such thing as trying, only progress in small little steps. Hey, Catherine, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi, Warren. Thank you for taking my call. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
And same here, Catherine.
My question is, just over a year ago, I saw in the local shelter that there was what they advertised as a 13-year-old Brittany who was up for adoption. And I thought, who's going to take a dog in his last year of life? I expected this arthritic, decrepit dog, and he's very muscular. He was very aggressive. He was never socialized. He was abused his whole life. Very aggressive. Towards me for one day, and then he realized that I was safe, and then his mission was to protect me from the world, as Brittany's would do. I've worked with a trainer, and he has a dog walker that he loves. I got married 2 weeks ago. He's accepted my husband. He accepts.
What would you have done if he didn't accept your husband? I guess you would have stayed single, huh?
Yeah. And he knew that. In order to get to me, he had to go through my dog because once you adopt a dog, you make a commitment to them. And there was no betraying my dog. So, but my question is, I'm fine with people. You know, I found a wonderful trainer, and I've taken her advice seriously. And you're right. It's small steps, positive reinforcement, and just keep progressing. But my question is, what about other dogs? He acts like he wants to go towards them, but as soon as he gets up close, he's aggressive. Is he missing out by not being able to play with other dogs, have interactions, or should I just leave it alone?
It's a great question. This is a 13-year-old dog at this point. God knows what stresses and angst he's had in his life. If there's an other dog in the neighborhood and you see that he wants to play with it, I have no problem with that, but I would not force the situation at this point. I think the most important thing at 13 years old, less stress. Stress takes the same physical effect on animals as it does on people, and if in fact those other dogs stress him out, that could cause health issues as well. So I would say if there's a specific dog that maybe he absolutely loves, that's fine, but if not, let him enjoy every single day sitting back watching TV with you.
Well, my vet thinks that he's not 13. He thinks that he's probably about 10 years old, and he's extremely strong and muscular. He can jump 3 feet straight up in the air.
Okay, maybe if in fact he is younger, and your vet assumes, I only have the number you told me, 13. But if the vet assumes that he's a little bit younger, and you're working with a trainer that's focused on positive reinforcement, then yeah, maybe what I would try. I'm going to be talking about a little bit later. Let me talk about it right now. Okay, stay with me on this. There's a method of training called open bar, closed bar dog training. What it means is this. Let's say you have a dog that reacts to other dogs. What this type of training suggests is this. The minute you see another dog down the block, you start feeding your dog a very, very high value treat, his favorite thing in the whole wide world. And you continue feeding him until the other dog goes by. So their assumption now is what's going to happen is the dog's going to associate seeing the other dog with this high value treat, and therefore it's kind of a form of counter conditioning. You don't need to ask the dog to do anything. This is a method that's not what your dog is doing. It's about how they're feeling. And and you don't have to make your dog sitters to any of that. So that's one method. It's called open bar. Open bar, obviously giving the treats, closed bar, stopping the treats as soon as it goes by. But here's the situation. Is this a method that's a possibility? In utopia, okay? In utopia. But again, the bottom line is this. What if so many people, what they're going to do is they're going to take the dog for a walk and say, you know what, I'm going to try this. As soon as I see another dog down the block, I'm going to start giving the dog this high treat and make him really feel good about this when he sees another dog. But if the reaction of your dog before you use that high value treat, then in reality, you're doing the opposite and the negative behavior. So you got to be very careful. It's kind of an interesting approach. Some trainers use it. I'm not 100% against it. It's not a method I would use personally, but it's not 100%. It's called open bar, closed bar dog training. It is definitely an interesting concept. If anyone's a comment on that, feel free to. In your case, what I would do is I would walk him and I would take him for those walks and kind of little by little walk past other animals, and you don't know how he's going to react to them. I would work with your trainer there, maybe using some basic training and ignoring situations. She can get him to get along with other dogs. And it's one of those options. At 13 years old, I'd say leave well enough alone. If he's only 10 years old or 9 years old, whatever age he is, a little socialization at this point might improve his life a little bit. But again, we don't know any background. Was he turned in by the people that lived with him beforehand, or was he a stray?
He was turned in.
Okay, so, that right off the bat, it tells you neglect. How does someone turn in assume a 13-year-old dog? So the dog probably never received the proper socialization. So if you're working with a trainer, and there are some amazing trainers here in Southern California, not only is the basic important, but more important is the gradual socialization. First of all, teaching the response to the dog with no distractions, gradually adding distractions in a little bit of time, and that's how you're going to get your response. I don't see this as a major problem. It can be done, but again, it all depends on if the dog's 13. But it can be done if the dog's 13 as well. But again, if you're working with the trainer you have a lot of confidence in, follow her or his advice. Just make sure you do a little bit at a time. And if anything ever sounds like it's not right, good possibility it's not. How's that sound?
That sounds great. Thank you.
No, I'm just in awe with you going out and adopting what you assumed at that point was a 13-year-old dog. I've adopted dogs at 16, 17 years old, but then again, I shouldn't be walking the streets by myself. But normal people like you, Catherine, it absolutely amazes me that so many of my listeners have done the same thing. Let me just ask you this, and then I'm going to move on. What made you decide that you were going to adopt an older dog like this?
I was raised with Brittany's. And I love them, and I just thought nobody's going to take this. Nobody's going to take a dog this old.
Wow, bless.
And when I went, they asked me if I was patient, and I said yes. And then I said I want to take him, and they said, okay, we'll get the muzzle. And then I really knew nobody else would take him because he pretty much tried to bite my face off the first day that I had him. And
well, you have to remember where he was, what his background might have been, and thank God that you can now get married. Have a dog, and have a normal happy life. Let me do that. I want you to keep me posted. But what I'm going to do, Catherine, I'm going to move on. I'm going to put you on hold. And you know what? I'm going to send you a jar. I always send the most expensive. I'm going to send you a jar of my own Hugs and Kisses vitamin mineral supplement treats. Number one, for just the digestion with that prebiotic probiotic formula for an older dog. But also it has those chondroitin and glucosamine for the hips and joints. By the way, for those people thinking about buying Hugs and Kisses, don't forget, coming up, Prime Day and Walmart Special Day this week. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. Special, absolute 20% off Hugs and Kisses. I don't know when we've done this before, but that's special coming up this week at Amazon and Walmart. I'll talk about that a little bit later on the show. But right now, if I don't take a commercial, Alex is going to throw something at me. So when we come back, Gerald, Lauren, we'll get to your Dogs Beat Your Boyfriend. Maybe we're going to swap boyfriends there. We got Cynthia in Redondo Beach, Don in Roland Heights. I do have an open line. I want to get to you, Donna. I've got some great info about coyotes. Great time to give me a call. I got lots of great stuff to give away, including the Hugs and Kisses you just heard me give away. I have Arthrosuit Gold to give away for hips and joints. Copies of my best-selling books now, either Dog or Cat. Hemp seed oil, Kitty Lickies, which cats absolutely adore. Lucy Pet Food. The brand new t-shirts came out. None of my friends walk upright. It's the same saying, but the shirt's totally redesigned. You're going to love them. I got some of those to give away as well. All natural herbal flea spray to give away. Allergy aid, pet organics, no scratch, so much stuff to give away on today's show. Everyone that calls in and gets to talk to me live will get a great gift, even if they just want to answer the question. Come on, guys, I'm holding you to it. How does your dog or cat communicate with you? He doesn't send you an email or a text, but how do they communicate with you? 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. A quick break, then right back to all of your phone calls. You know, a little stray cat strut playing in the background. Remember, spay and neuter. It'd be a lot of less stray cats out there strutting what they do. If you want to check out the live YouTube feed and see the face behind the mic, it's youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. We're broadcasting live there today. If you have a question or comment, want to share a great story about a dog or cat you rescued, want to comment on my last caller rescuing what we think might be a 13-year-old dog, maybe it's a little bit younger. You want to talk about that open bar, closed bar dog training where you give the dog food when he sees something he's not calm or not good to be around until it's gone, and then you stop. It's an interesting concept. If you want to comment on that, I'd love to hear from you as well. Everyone who calls in will get a super gift. I want to hear from some people. How did your dogs and cats make out during the 4th of July? That's important as well. And has anyone out there had an experience with social media helping them find their lost dog or cat? I want to hear from you guys also. So it's a great time to give me a call. Everyone that calls in will got a great gift for their dog or cat. Remember, the heat's coming up. I just posted on my social media, but a lot of people don't realize that when it's really hot outside, it's hotter and hotter for their dogs and their cats. So I want you to take a look at my website, thepetshow.com, or I posted it on Facebook, dealing with heat stroke. It's going to be hot. The summer's just starting out, and it's amazing how many dogs and cats really suffer for no reason, if guardians would just take the right precautions to keep their pets happy and safe. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Coming up, we're going to take a look at how to stop cats from fighting. Sometimes it looks like Conor McGregor in the ring. You know, he's a world champion martial arts fighter. 866-870-KRLA. Let me get back to the phone lines here. Let's go to Chatsworth, and I believe it's Gerald. Gerald. Hey, Gerald. Welcome to the show.
Hi there, it's Gerald and Lauren. Say hi, Gerald.
Hello.
Hi, Gerald.
Okay.
Hi, Laura. How you doing?
We're doing good, thank you. Thank you very much. Our rescue dog is still, he's only been a week here with Gerald and I. I had him for 2 weeks prior. But he does nip and he does growl occasionally. And
Tell me, what type of dog is it?
He is part. He looks like two things. What was it?
Beagle.
And husky. Beagle and husky.
Okay, and about how old did you say he was?
7.
7 years old, and bless you. My
And he
listeners
did
are the
come
best.
From an abusive type family.
Okay, so here's the scenario. You had him 2 weeks before.
I had him for 2 weeks on my own, and he did nip and he did nip at me a couple times, especially when I asked him to get off the couch. Interestingly enough, at our other home, where my partner and I are at, he's actually not jumped on any of the furniture, and he did listen to my male partner when he said no when he got up on the one of the comfortable
So he,
chairs.
but he bit Gerald.
But he did. So what happened is he's taken to sleeping on one or the other side of us in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And on my side, it's closer to the bathroom. So Gerald had to go to the restroom, and he went to just step over him to get to the other door, and he bit him on the knee.
Okay, a couple of things going on there. First of all, you have to get rid of Gerald. You have to get rid of him. Just.
You're cute.
Gerald,
You're a funny one.
Gerald. No, what makes you think I'm kidding? Gerald has to go. Now, here's the bottom line, okay?
He actually missed that because it's on my cell phone, which the speaker's kind of low. He says, "Oh well, the first thing is you have to get rid of Gerald."
So here,
So what's the next?
So no, this is real important, okay? The assertive behavior or aggressive behavior, I don't, it comes from an abusive background. I don't know everything about the dog's background, but it's not that big a deal. We can reverse this. What you need to do right now is, number one, you need to really spend a lot of time, and I want Gerald to spend a lot of time. I want Gerald to be feeding the dog, Gerald to be giving the dog treats. When he comes home during the day, he's not bringing you flowers. He's no petunias for you. He's going to be bringing special treats for the dog. I want the dog to start only associating Gerald with positive things. If Gerald can, I want him to walk the dog by himself. Also, in terms of the aggressive behavior, we don't know what happened. It's very possible people threw stuff at him or pulled him off the couch, and that's why he reacted that way. I think one of the most important things that you can do, you've only had the dog for a week or 2 weeks now, or 3 weeks entire. Number one is you need to give the dog some time just to decompress. Sometimes it takes a week, sometimes it takes 6 months, but you need to give the dog some time to decompress. They learn through association, so everything he associated with something negative in the past, if it happens again, he's going to again have that negative association. Some positive training, very gentle training, a couple of minutes at a time. He'll sit, stay down, and come. Why? I want you to establish a positive way to communicate with the dog. In terms of the aggressive behavior, has he ever just tried to bite you guys when you're just sitting doing nothing?
Never just try. He's actually a very loving dog.
That's what, and the growling, some people think that growling is the worst thing a dog can do. I've talked about this often on the show. When a dog growls, what they're doing, it's kind of like you and me saying, you know what? leave me alone. I'm not, I need I need some space. I need some time. And then people will pursue that, and it can become worse. So the growling is kind of like a dog's way of saying, you know what? Things are cool. Just leave me alone for a few minutes. So that's what I would do at this point till the dog realizes that your relationship with him is based on only positive things, not negative things, because his association with people in the past when he was doing something wrong was probably some type of abusive correction. So we don't want to do that at all. What we need to do right now is build up his confidence, his self-image, calm him down, give him some time to decompress. Don't over try to make confrontations at this point. Try to make it all positive. Little by little, he'll come around. Do your training, make it fun, a few minutes at a time. Never try to force it, and I think you're going to be absolutely fine in the end.
Really appreciate that. Can I ask one more question
Sure,
about
go
the
ahead.
fact that he doesn't? Oh, I appreciate that. They unfortunately never took him for walks, and now we have a wonderful backyard. He loves the backyard. He also loves being inside too. But when you let him out in the backyard, he doesn't want to come back in. But he will come back in if I catch him with the leash, and he comes and he turns himself around and marches right in the house.
Here's what I would try to do. During the day, when you have some time, I want you to pick yourself up what's called a light line. It's just basically a long leash, 15, 20, 30. They come 50 feet, whatever. Let him out in the back.
One.
Oh, let him out in the backyard. If he doesn't come when you call him, just reel in that leash, give him a lot, and don't get frustrated. I know it's hard. You know, your favorite show's coming on. You want him to come in. No, let him come in, but it always has to be very positive. So what I would do is I would use that. You can start out on, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send you a copy of my book. I want you to start out teaching him to come from motion a little bit at a time, expanding to a longer lead, and then ultimately getting to come off the leash. But right now, the most important thing is to build up his confidence. And every time he comes to you, even if it takes you an hour to get him, every time he comes to you, he gets praised. It's positive, because if he comes to you and you yell at him, why should he come back the next time?
Yeah, I never yell at him personally.
I can tell it's all Gerald's fault. I can tell.
Exactly. He's got the stronger, manly voice. But we have your book coming. Just
okay,
so you
great,
know. So we
great,
already have the book coming.
Great. So
let's, whatever else you want to.
Yeah, no, I'm going to say something, but let's do this. I want you to work on it. Give me a call back in a few weeks, but I want you to understand that we don't have a problem dog. We have a dog with a couple of issues because of his background. Be confident, work it out, and it's going to be fine. So don't go anywhere. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to send you just adopt him. I'm going to send you some Lucy pet food on its way to you. Let's keep him healthy and happy. The phone number, great time to give me a call. I got 2 lines open, which is pretty rare for the pet show. I got hugs and kisses to give away. I got Arthur Gold books. You just hear me give away some Lucy pet food. If you have a cat, I got some kitty lickies. Even if you just want to answer the question of the day, how does your dog or cat communicate with you? Give me a call. Let me know. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I'd love to hear from some of you guys about how your pets communicate with you. I'm curious. I mean, obviously, I've been doing this for a few weeks, so I know how most pets communicate, but everyone has a different way of communicating with their dog or cat. I'd love to hear from you. 866-870-KRLA. Or I'd love to also hear from you. How did your dog or cat react during the 4th of July, the fireworks? How did they react? Give me a call. If you get through, a great gift will be on its way to you. Once again, I want to tell you about my friends over at Lucy Pet Kitty. I'll get right to you, Cynthia Dunn. And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. That phone number, 866-870, KRLA, 866-870-5752. This is something I've been talking about for years. A study monitoring the reactions of dogs when analyzing human faces when feeding, and learned that dogs study our faces to understand the emotions behind our expressions. How many times have you heard me say this on the air, and how many times have people tried to put me away? I believe that our dogs and our cats, but specifically dogs, understand us so much better. They watch every move we make. They watch our face. They watch our expressions. They're so in tune with what we're all about. And that's why, when in doubt, I ask my dog for advice. All right, let's go to Cynthia in Redondo Beach. Hey, Cynthia, welcome to the show.
Hi. Thanks for
how are
taking
you?
my call.
Oh, it's my joy. What's up?
I'm good. So I have two cats, and one of them is a 5-year-old Persian that I adopted from a shelter when she was 1.5 approximately. And she pees in the wrong place. She'll poop in her box, but she likes to pee on bath mats and on carpets, and it's really frustrating.
Okay, are there any men living in your house?
No.
Okay, good. Because sometimes if you have a man, and please take this the right way out there, guys. If you are men living in the house and they're not a perfect aim, very often the cats will go there and mark the territory in the bathroom, specifically on the carpeting around that area. So let's do this. How many litter boxes do you have down?
3.
You have 3 litter boxes down. You have 2 cats.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And one of the cats, and you're definitely sure that one of the cats is pooping in a litter box, and you definitely know which cat it is.
Yeah, there's only problems with pee. The poop always goes in the right place.
Okay, so here's what I want you to do. How far away is that 3rd litter box from the other 2 litter boxes?
It's in a completely different room.
Okay. I want you to put it a little bit closer, okay? Put it a little bit closer. Clean it out. The next time the cat has an accident, I want you to dab up that urine, and what I want you to do on a little tissue, and put that tissue in that 3rd litter box, covered up with about a 1/2 inch of the litter. What I'm trying to do right now is get the cat's mindset back on peeing in the same spot. Also, what I want you to do is clean up the areas where the cat has peed in the past. If you don't remember those areas, what you can do is use one of those black lights. It'll show you. Make sure you clean it up with a stain and odor remover specifically made for pets. The reason I say that is a lot of the cleaners on the market contain ammonia, so does urine. You're putting down the same odor, you're lifting up, might as well pee on the floor. So you want to use something made with enzymes specifically. Then what I want you to do is spend more time with the cat in those areas. Put some toys there, put some of her kibble down on a paper plate. If she picks another spot, do the same thing once she realizes her food is following. The only other thing that concerns me a little bit, has she always been this way, Cynthia, or is it something that started relatively recently?
Since I've had her.
And you've had her how long?
4 years.
Okay, so you.
And I thought it was getting better, but then it didn't.
Okay, so this has been going on for 4 years. Okay, is she stressed out, cat? Does she get along with the other cats fine? Is she stressed out at all?
She's a little stressed. The other cat is more alpha, and they're both females. And I found out after the fact that you don't adopt females from.
Oh, that's nonsense. I had 7 females at one time. That's nonsense. What you want to do is you want to make the inside of your house as interesting as you possibly can. Lots of cardboard boxes, lots of paper bags, lots of high places for them to climb up on. The higher the place, the less apt they are to need to claim territory by marking down low. The only other thing I was concerned, if it had started recently, I would say maybe there's a urinary tract infection. Maybe she's having trouble. But move that litter box a little bit closer, a little bit of the urine in the bottom, cover it up in the areas where she went in the past. What I want you to do specifically is I want you to spend time with her in those areas, put a little bit of a treat and food in those areas. Don't make a big deal out of it. She's going to go to another area, do the same thing, and sooner or later, I promise you'll be walking around the house barefoot as well.
Okay.
Give it a shot. Hey, Cynthia, there's no exacts. Give it a shot. If it's not working, I got a million other things up my tree, but I'm going to put you on hold, and I am going to send you, for your cat, I am going to send you some kitty lickies, and I appreciate that phone call. A great time to give me a call. Do have an open line or two. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. If you want to ask a question, you go to youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. I'm telling you, subscribe there. I am sharing. I am building that YouTube channel where it's going to be the most pet information you can ever have. That's number one. And number two, you know, if you guys, you've been listening to me for many, many years. If you guys have been saying, you know, I want to try Warren's Hugs and Kisses vitamin mineral supplement treats for my dogs, and I want to try it for my cats, but here's the deal. Coming up this Tuesday and this Wednesday, you can save 20% on my Hugs and Kisses for Amazon Prime days and Walmart Plus days. So I know I'm postponing. You can get it on my website, but I know I'm telling you to wait. Wait till Tuesday or Wednesday. Go to Amazon or Walmart, and you will save 20% off my Hugs and Kisses vitamin mineral supplement treats. Let me do this. Let me take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get to you, Don. We'll get to you, Mark. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA. Coming up, some bad advice from the internet. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. Bridge. Anthony in Los Angeles with a bee sting question. A great time to call me. The phone number 866-870-KRLA. To stop cats from fighting, you want to redirect their attention. You can do this with a short, sudden noise like one of my air horns. A piece of cardboard placed between the cats always works well too. If aggression is a new problem with cats that goes along, could be a medical issue, you want to check with your veterinarian. However, you should never use physical punishment, yelling, or loud sustained noises because these can increase fear, anxiety, and actually increase the aggressive behavior in your cats. And so many people are told to squirt water at their cats, throw things at the cats, yell at the cats. Those little air horns, just a quick blast can do the trick. And in some cases, and I've been with as many as 30 cats at a time, and they get along most of the time. Bottom line, keep a big piece of cardboard around. You can put it in front of the two cats. Sometimes that's the best way to resolve the issue. But again, if the cats have gotten along and all of a sudden one of the cats is becoming assertive or aggressive, check with your veterinarian. The phone number 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Take a quick break. When we come back, plenty of time for your calls, lots of great stuff to give away, and find out if your dogs are pushy and rude, or is it you? I'm Warren Eckstein. You're listening to The Pet Show.
We tried to stumble, but we haven't yet. Your dog is barking, your cat missed the box. Your ferrets chewed up all your favorite socks. He sure knows how to get inside your pet's head. But maybe it's you who needs to be trained instead.
And if you love animals and really want to try to understand your dogs and cats as well as they understand you, I know they have the greatest life living with you, but if you want to improve their lifestyle by understanding them a little bit better or resolve any issues, maybe they're jumping, maybe your dog is humping everything in sight, your cat scratched your favorite chair, doesn't get along with the new cat, you take your dog for a walk, he sees another dog, he goes absolutely berserk. Any problems, issues, or questions you may be having, we will help you resolve them. Just a reminder, if you call into the Pet Show with a question or comment or to share a great story about a dog or cat you rescued, everyone that I get to talk to will get a fabulous gift for their dog or cat. I'm not giving away biscuits here, folks. A lot of the items are worth as much as $30, $40, even $50. So if you have a question or a comment about your dog or cat, want to share a story, brag about a dog or cat you rescued, or you just want to answer the question of the day, which is pretty simple. How does your dog or cat communicate with you? Do they bark? Do they rub up against you? Do they whack you with their paw? As I said, everyone that calls in and gets to talk to me live will get a great gift. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Plenty of time for your calls, and as I said, lots of great stuff to give away. You know, it's amazing to me how many of my listeners have rescued their dogs. I don't remember maybe last week we had a call, but I don't remember the last time one of my listeners called me up that hadn't either rescued a dog or somehow adopted their dog or cat via some type of a rescue organization as a stray. You guys absolutely amaze me every single week. Phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. Still coming up, we're going to talk about social media and how it may help find lost dogs. I'll give you some of the most ridiculous advice coming up as well. That coming up. And also, why is it so difficult to get a veterinary appointment? Do you ever wonder? Especially now, did you know, let me just share this with you, did you know that by the year 2030, not that far away, guys, the United States will need 41,000 more veterinarians. By 2030, 41,000. The industry is suffering from a double whammy of highly increased demand coupled with an exodus of workers. Now, here's the interesting part about it. It seems like a lot of the vets became busier during the pandemic and right after the pandemic, and people might be saying why. And I'm going to explain to you why. During the pandemic, we were confined with our dogs, we were confined with our cats, and as much as we always loved them, as much as we always adored and admired them, by spending even more time with them at home during the pandemic, we even became closer with them. And so more and more pet guardians are seeking better health care for them, thus making more veterinary appointments, therefore the need for more vets. Hopefully, in the future, they telemedicine, more students at veterinary colleges, and more vet techs are definitely going to be needed. Amazing people. You know, it's just, I know it's tough. I get it all the time. One, I tried to get a vet appointment and I couldn't get it. Not, you know, even in LA, but a lot of my listeners for my network show, you know, in Arkansas, Alabama, parts of Texas, have a lot more difficult time finding it. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Once again, I'm going to tell you, okay? I bring up a lot of subjects. I've been doing this for you guys for over 30 years. I can't possibly get to all the subjects I want to talk about. So what I've done is I've really increased my posts on my YouTube channel. Now, everything on my YouTube channel is free. You should subscribe. It's free. But there are 1-minute tips, how to break up a cat fight, how to stop your dog from eating his poop. Amazing tips. There's literally hundreds there. And there's longer videos as well. So if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, again, I'm telling you, you listen to The Pet Show. There's even more advice there, obviously. Check it out. It's easy enough to find, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Check it out. I think you'll be surprised. And if you've really been listening to me for a lot of years, a lot of the videos, if you go to the archive videos here, it's me doing being the creature keeper on the Mickey Mouse Club, me working with Regis and Kathy Lee, some old segments from the Merv Griffin Show. And so you want to check it out, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. All right, let me get back to the busy phone lines here. We're going to go to Don first. We also have Mark, and we have Anthony. We got Leslie in Palos Verdes. But right now, let's go to Don in Roland Heights. Hey, Don, welcome to the Pet Show.
Yes. Hello, Warren. Thanks for taking my call.
How can I help you, Don? Hey, Don, you there? Oh, yeah, I can hear you now, Don.
Hear me?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, a neighbor of mine just last week, his dog was in the backyard and behind 6-foot fence, and 2 coyotes killed the dog. And so I'm kind of concerned for my dog now.
What kind of dog do you have?
I have a lab mix.
Okay, well, this is the time of year. There's a lot of coyotes breeding. They're coming into different areas. It's hot out there. There's a lot of drought out there, difficulty, some of them finding water. So they're going to be around. But coyotes got to live too. Let me explain what I do, okay? My two dogs, Molly and Willie, together may weigh 16 pounds. There's not a second that they're in my backyard without me being there. Two things. Number one, those air horns you hear me talk about, absolutely amazing. Right. But again, you have to be there. No one should be letting their dog out by themselves, especially this time of year where there's so many coyotes around because of the breeding season. So that's number one. Also, another thing that's been very, very successful is you can buy them online, is they have these strobe flashlights. And not only does it stop people, but the strobe flashlight will also stop whether it be aggressive dogs or coyotes coming at you. Also, if there's a real influx of coyotes in your area, what you can also do is you can actually purchase dried cougar urine online. I know that sounds crazy to people, but dried cougar urine, if you spread that a little bit around the outside of your yard, because cougars are obviously predators for coyotes, that will also help them keep away. Honestly, coyotes are always going to be around. We're going to have to learn to adapt and live with them. But again, there are all kinds of different... Just because you have a 6-foot fence or a 7-foot fence, it doesn't mean they can't get over it. They can. They are going to find what they want. So again, I would... Bright lights in the backyard, air horn, using a high-intensity flashlight with maybe strobe on it. And the bottom line is, I go out, my dogs are taken out for the last time, probably at 11 o'clock, 11:30 at night, because I am a party animal, by the way, Don. So I take them out at 11 or 11:30, and Denise sometimes does it. When they go out, there's lights in my yard. There are so many lights in my yard. I got blinking lights. I got, solar lights all over the yard. I have a high-intensity flashlight when I go out there. I have the air horn in one pocket, and I have a stick in the other pocket, and that's what I do when I go outside. So that would be the best way for me to approach. The other thing I would do is make sure there's no food source in there. You don't leave bowls of water outside, all things that will encourage coyotes to come. I hope that helps you out a little bit.
Yeah, you gave me some good ideas, and I virtually never had her out at night anyhow. And since the attack, if I'm gone, I leave her in the house.
Yeah, no, and absolutely right. Years ago, you would only hear about coyotes attacking at dusk and dawn. Now they're, for some reason, and it kind of freaks me out a little bit, they're out during the day sometimes, too. And usually that means they're not feeling well or something's going on. But this time of year, they could be out day or night. So bottom line is, have your eye on your dog at all times. And please keep your cats inside. Whatever you do, keep your cats inside. It just, every day on neighborhood, we're on a neighbor watch online, and someone's cat is missing or someone's cat was found, and this coyote. No, you can avoid it. Common sense, you can avoid it. Common sense is when it's this time of year, your dog, your cats are not outside unless you're out there directly to react with them if something negative were to happen.
Yeah, and just as everybody knows, but I spoke to the neighbor who lost the dog, and they're heartbroken. So it's worth it to go to some extra trouble to prevent that.
No doubt. Listen, I heard last week one of the most horrible stories. Someone I knew, not I knew, but someone who listens to the show, had two older Maltese, 10, 11 years old. There was a hole in the back of his fence. It was a big piece of property. There was a hole in the back of his fence. He was out there with the dog. Coyote came through the hole, grabbed one of the dogs, and he actually watched the coyote take off with his dog, and it never came back. So it just breaks my heart. So we have to do everything we possibly can. But remember now, it's not the coyote's fault. It's up to us to be more responsible pet guardians. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that.
Hey, Don, you know what, Don? I got to move on, Don, but I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to send you an air horn. And the other thing is, for the life of me, I can never figure out why there's no way of using birth control methods. Some places in Europe do birth control methods for the coyotes. I mean, capture, spay, neuter. It's not going to be all of them, but can feed be put out there? So there are things that can be done. I just don't think we're doing everything we can. Coyotes got to live. Our pets got to live. Hopefully, we can all live. Great call, by the way, because so many people freak out. In my neighborhood, Santa Monica, I've been there, 25 years? And, I never heard about coyote till this year. Coyotes are walking down Ocean Park Avenue. They're walking down Ocean Avenue. They're walking here. They're walking there. They're walking there. So there's more coyotes around, specifically this time of year. But so, bottom line is conscientious, protect your pets, but don't harm the coyotes. Phone number 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. If you guys have some other coyote tips, I'd love to hear from you. My listeners have come up with some amazing tips over the years. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got Mark, Anthony, and Leslie. Great time to call me. I still got hugs and kisses to give away. I got some kitty lickies to give away. I got some more Lucy pet food to give away. I have those brand new amazing T-shirts, copies of my books. Just so much incredible stuff to give away here on the show. All natural herbal flea spray. A lot of those air horns to give away too. You just heard me talk about those air horns. I have those air horns to give away. So if you have a question or a comment, want to share a great story, or just tell me how your pet communicates with you, I will send you a great gift. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. I'd also like to hear from some listeners out there what you did to keep your pets calm during the 4th of July, because sometimes your tips, your secrets may encourage other people to resolve their issues the same way you're resolving yours. And so I'd love to hear from you guys as well. Quick break, though, and then right back to your calls. And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Phones are absolutely jam-packed. I'm going to try to get to as many calls as I can. You do this to me, guys. You do it to me. Let me give you some bad advice from the internet. What do you think about this? A lot of times, dogs are coming to us seeking attention when they're excited state. And our instinct is to think, oh, pet them, love them. They love us so much. But the reality is that your dog is being pushy and rude. Oh, knock it off. And you're rewarding that behavior that you probably wouldn't want to reward if it were a child. I say, when my dog comes to me in an excited state and he wants a hug and a kiss and wants to be played with, I say, play with him. That's simple. Don't ignore it because other problems will pop up. Some more stupid advice from the internet. All right, let me get back to the phone lines here. I'm going to take you guys in order. And right now we are going to Mark. Mark, we're going to go to Mark in Northridge. Hey, Mark, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hello, good afternoon.
What can I do to help you out today, Mark?
I'm renting a room from a gentleman who also rescues cats. And the cat that I have, Ginger, she's an orange tabby. And she is the biggest cat of the house. So at times when I'm not around, I used to be a truck driver, gone for months, she would be sequestered in one half of the house. So when I rescued her, she just loves me. Can't, take her paws off me. So when I lay down on my bed, she used to sleep beside me. But now she's taken to sleeping on me, and when she does that, I can't sleep. So I'm just looking for a solution.
Yeah, well, first of all, take it as a compliment, though. Okay, when a cat sleeps on top of their guardian, it's actually a compliment. They actually kind of like monitor you at the same time. Here's what I would try to do. Number one is I would get either a blanket or a cat bed. And even during the day sometimes, or when you're watching TV, put that cat bed or that blanket on your chest area. Let the cat get comfortable in that bed or that blanket on your chest, and then gradually move that off your chest to alongside of your where you're sleeping. In not all cases, but very often, once they get comfortable sleeping on something that has their scent strongly on it, they're just simply going to go there. So you can gradually move that over, and you'll be able to get your sleep, and she'll be sleeping alongside of you instead of on top of you. How's that sound there?
Sounds good.
That's what I want you to do. Are you retired now?
Yes, I am.
So you're spending more time with your cat?
A whole lot more time.
Best time in your life, isn't it?
I know, right.
Yeah, I know. It's just unbelievable. Try that out. Listen, it doesn't work every single time. I got 1,000 other things I can do, but let's do the basics at first. Let's give that a shot, see if it works. Also, what I'm going to do, Mark, I'm going to put you on hold. I'm sending you some kitty lickies, and I want you to put some kitty lickies alongside of you. That'll keep her off your chest as well. But again, very often when a cat crawls up on your chest, and the fact that you're spending more time with the cat right now, your breathing rhythm, your breaths, all of that is a comforting sign and a mellowing sign for your cat. So take it as a compliment, but I know sometimes it's hard to sleep. I've had 10, 15 dogs on top of me when I was trying to catch a nap myself. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Let's go to Anthony. Hey, Anthony, welcome to the show.
Hi, Warren. Good afternoon. I heard that you were going to talk about bees, and I just happened to discover a swarm had positioned itself down in the lower part of it's a split level lot and house, and the dachshunds aren't in danger right now. They're pretty low to the ground anyway. But you were going to give us some advice.
Yeah, let me go over this I want to go over real briefly with you. Signs your dog's been stung by a bee: if you notice redness of the skin, itchiness, thickened ear flaps, swelling of the eyes, muzzle, or neck, hives, welts on the skin, vomiting or diarrhea, difficulty breathing, or weakness. Now, what they recommend is you go to the nearest vet, because widespread swelling, especially around the face and or neck if your dog is stung in their mouth area, welts on the face, all of that can be really, really dangerous, especially trouble breathing, even collapse. But here's the bottom line. Many pet guardians like yourself will call a vet And what the vet will recommend, if it's not a really, really severe case and the dog or cat isn't too uncomfortable, is they may recommend Benadryl. I always keep Benadryl in my drawer, not for me, but for my pets if heaven forbid they were stung. But before you would use the Benadryl, I would run it by your veterinarian, and chances are he's going to say, yeah, give him the Benadryl, go the weight of your dog and whatever, and that should do it. Unless there's any severe reaction, you're probably going to be able to treat it yourself. But if you notice that redness, as I said, the flaps, the swelling, the trouble breathing, you're going to want to get him to a vet right away.
Warren, would that be liquid Benadryl? Is there such a thing?
I don't know. It's a great question. I keep the pills around because hey, they're my dogs. They spit and gargle. I'm just joking with you. But I keep the pills around, and what I do is, I'll break the pills up and I'll put it in a little something to get them to eat it. So if they don't take it right away. But I don't know. Benadryl, it may come in a liquid now. It's very possible it does. But I want you, before you use it, get a phone call with your vet. Ask him the recommended amount. Is it a half? Is it a full? Depending on your dog or cat's weight. And he will be able to tell you that amount and give you some other advice as well. But again, very often I've had so many of my pets, when I was doing a lot of field training for police, military, whatever.
Warren, I know you're going to have a website that will have answers. I'm just thinking that they're so rare right now, bees, and I don't want just somebody just to kind of vacuum and to destroy the bees and all that. Are there places or locations that you know of that have people that come out?
I don't know a specific, but it's a great question. For example, I bought a new lavender plant a couple of weeks ago, and when I was sitting in my backyard, I noticed that my lavender plant has lots and lots of bees around it that are kind of pollinating it, and I was fascinated sitting there and watching them. And then someone called me last week who was a beekeeper, and he said, when you have bees like that, they're in a position where they're not aggressive, they're not assertive, they're just pollinating the plants. However, if you have a hive, then I would recommend you call a professional in and have that hive removed or moved.
Well, I just thought maybe you had
I don't have a specific, but if you go to if you Google bee rescue, BEE rescue, I'm sure you'll come up with a bunch of people that either rescue bees or can hook you up with beekeepers in your area. And beekeeping, by the way,
I'll make sure that they do a good job.
I appreciate that. Do you have any other dog? What kind of dog do you have?
We have 2 dachshunds. They're wonderful. We lost one to an owl. They can pick up when they're traveling behind the dog and scaring it, and they lift the dog right up off the ground. They can get up to 24 pounds of a dog off the ground.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with owls. I had many opportunities over my career to work with some of the larger owls, and their talons are so powerful that it's amazing what they can lift off the ground. Let me do this. I got to move on. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to send you for your dog. I am going to send you, I'm going to send you some Orthocid Gold for your guys to keep those hips and joints in the best shape ever. Yeah, even my guy, there are some falcons or what that fly around. I got my eyes on them 24/7. But you have to remember that I'm neurotic. I guess I didn't have to tell you that. I hear every horror story, and I've had for the last 40 some odd years of this happened or that happened. So, sometimes I may be a little bit more neurotic about taking care of my pets than other people may be, but I've heard it all, and I want to make sure they stay happy and they stay healthy. Just a reminder, by the way, if you ever wanted to try my highly rated Hugs and Kisses supplements for your dog or cat, listen closely. You can save 20% on Hugs and Kisses during Amazon Prime Days and Walmart Plus Week, running Tuesday and Wednesday this week. That's right, running Tuesday and Wednesday this week. 20% off at both Amazon Prime and Walmart Plus on Hugs and Kisses supplement treats for both dogs and cats. Read all of the 5-star testimonies and stock up Tuesday and Wednesday. I don't know the next time they're going to do this, but right now, 20% off Tuesday and Wednesday at Amazon Prime Days and Walmart Plus Week. Phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me take a break. When we come back, we're going to get to Leslie. You're going to be up next. I know you've been holding for a long time. We got Tella. We got Denise. Still have some open lines. Great time to call me. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. A quick break, then right back at you. Listen. And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. That phone number, 866-870-KRLA. 866-870-5752. Just a reminder, they're expecting some really hot weather the next few weeks. Go to my website, thepetshow.com, or my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, or my Facebook page, facebook.com/Warren Pet Talk. And the reason I'm saying there, I put together an incredible article on how to tell if your dog or cat is suffering from heat stroke, and what you can do immediately might be exactly what you need to save your dog or cat's life. Some cats and dogs react really quick to the heat, so check it out either at thepetshow.com. Just type in heat stroke and it'll come up, or check out some of the videos I did at youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Still got some kitty lickies to give away, all natural flea spray, some more of my Hugs and Kisses supplements, and copies of my best-selling books. So if you have a question or a comment, want to share a story, 866-870-KRLA is the phone number. 866-870-5752. According to a recent study, more than half of men, actually 60% of men, admitted that having their dog by their side has the biggest positive impact on their mental health. More than half of men, 60%, admitted that having their dog by their side has been the biggest positive effect on their mental. Listen, I got to tell you, I would be in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest if it wasn't for the animals I live with them. There's no doubt about it. I know I'm not normal. I would definitely be in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, would be me, if it was not for all the animals that kept me sane. Not the people, but the animals that kept me sane. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Let me take another call right now. Let's go to beautiful Palos Verdes and Leslie. Hi, Leslie. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thank
How are you
for
today?
taking my call.
Oh, it's absolutely what would I do if I didn't take your call today, Leslie?
Well, I wanted to also say thank you for encouraging people to rescue and to give to rescues. I really appreciate that. And also the fact that you say things like keep your cats inside. I also am in California on the Nextdoor app, and I see everybody just leaves their cats outside, and every day a cat is taken by a coyote. As you know, in this area as well, there's a lot of coyotes here. So, the reason I called was because you had said, how does your pet communicate? And I actually kind of wanted to flip that a little bit. Although my pet communicates a lot with me, I wanted to flip that and say, how do you communicate with your pet? Because I have met so many people who only teach their dogs the word potty. And their dogs don't learn anything, and they aren't communicating with their pets. I have taught my dogs so many words, and people are astonished, like, your dog is like a human. He understands you, and he, knows what you're saying. I'm like, because I talk to him every single day, and I teach him words. And it just really surprises me that other people don't.
Listen,
that increases the communication.
You're absolutely right. Listen, I have to teach Molly and Willie to stop calling Uber Eats. They've been listening way too much. Cut it out. No, you're 100%. Listen, when I was studying in Europe, I worked with some amazing people. I didn't agree with a lot of their methods, but I did learn a lot. The more you communicate, the more you talk with your pets, the more they understand, and actually the more they try to communicate back with you. When I say talk to your dogs and cats, some trainers, teach a dog to sit, to stay, to lie down, and come. No, that's fine, that's dandy, and that's great. Every dog should learn that. But I really believe that our dogs and our cats have been with us long enough where you can have a conversation with them. Did you see that politician? I said, Molly, did you see that politician? What is wrong with that person? Honestly, I have legitimate conversations with them. I'll go outside, and sometimes, Denise might be in the house, and I'll be sitting out in the yard with Molly and Willie, and I'll say, man, that plane was awful low, or did you hear that next door? And I literally have I ask them every single morning when I wake up. I'm the first one up in my house. I'm up at 4:35 in the morning, and I'll wake Willie and Molly up, okay? And the first thing I do is say, hey, good good morning, guys. How you doing today? How is your day going to be today? It's going to be a good day. It's going to be a bad day. What do you want to do today? You want to go to the beach? You want to hang out? You want to sit in the backyard? What do you want to watch? You don't want to watch news? We'll watch pop-up. What do you... I mean, I have those and I've always had that. And years ago, I remember doing a segment on Regis and Kathy Lee with a name I hate to... But Bill Cosby was hosting that day. And he thought I was crazy because I explained and said, listen, you have to have conversations. Any living thing can understand conversations. We are not so much smarter than our dogs or cats. We may have certain advantages. However, if you really want your dog or cat to be incorporated as part of the family, conversation is part of that. And the more conversation, the better off you are. And how many words do you think your dogs understand now?
Oh gosh, I couldn't even begin to count. He has a very extensive vocabulary, and I'm just going to share a quick story and let you move on. But I was walking my dogs, and I was having a conversation while I was walking, and I didn't realize there were two gentlemen behind me walking, and they were from Europe visiting, and so I turned around and they were giggling, and I looked at them and kind of like, yeah, what's up? And they said, oh, we're just listening to your full conversation you're having with your dog. I said, well, my dog understands what I'm saying. And they said, oh, sure. And I said, Cash, go say hello to those two gentlemen right now. And he turned around and he went over and he said hello. And they're like, oh, okay, we're sorry.
Now, listen, my dogs, it's kind of interesting because I believe in having conversations with them all the time. And there are times when, I'm walking down the street and people are looking at me like I'm absolutely crazy. I'll give you an example. I'm from New York. Anyone want to guess? My accent's gone. Come on, 26 years in Santa Monica. But I used to, when I was doing Regis and Kathy Lee, I used to go out on the streets of New York City, good areas, bad areas, with a microphone and do something called Pet on the Street. For those old enough to remember Steve Allen, he used to do Man on the Street while Warren did Pet on the Street. I go up to people and I say, listen, if your boyfriend or husband said it's me or the dog, what would you do? Half of them said the leash would still be hanging and the Porsche would be out of the driveway. But the bottom line is, so many people, I used to walk down the streets in New York. Okay. And, my whole reputation is based on hugs and kisses. So I'd walk down the street in New York, and sometimes I see this beautiful dog, and I'll bend down, and I'll give it a hug and a kiss, and continue walking, never saying a word to the person. I just imagine what that person must have thought. Who's this jerk that kissed this hugged my dog, kissed my dog, and continued walking? And then the other part, which was even worse, is because my reputation was so well known as the hugs and kisses, I was doing TV every day in New York, 3-4 times a day, that I'd be walking down the street like at Lincoln Center, and people would say, they'd point at me and go, hugs and kisses, hugs and kisses, hugs and kisses. And I could only hope the other people around knew who I was. I felt like a gigolo. Anyway.
Well, you're awesome.
No, you got. Listen, I can never be on the air for 43 years if it wasn't for you guys. You make me crazy, and I love every minute of being crazy. So I'm trying to think what I want to send you. You know what? What do I want to send you? You're a nice lady. You talk to your pets. I'm putting you on hold. I'm sending you hugs and kisses for your guys. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. That is a true story, by the way. I would walk down the streets. At that time, I think I was doing the Today Show. I was doing all I was doing David Letterman show like monthly. I was doing all the dogs for Saturday Night Live and all the local news. So, people knew me. It's so nice. It's so nice to be on radio now. But back then, it was no matter where I went, with hugs and kisses, hugs and kisses, hugs and kisses. And it always occurred to me that if the other people have no idea what I do or who I am, boy, what they may be thinking. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Let me take a quick break. Alex doesn't like my hugs and kisses approach. So let me take a quick break, and when we come back, we got Tellis, we'll get Denise, we'll get line 1, 2, 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Quick break, then right back at you. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Great time to give me a call. I'd love to hear from you if you have a question or comment, want to share a story. Anybody rescue a dog this week? I want to hear from some new rescues of dogs or cats, how they made out during the 4th of July, how you deal with your dog or cat during the heat. Great time to give me a call. I do have a couple of open lines, and I do have some time to answer some questions. So if you give me a call and you get through and I talk to you, I will send you some Lucy Pet Food Hugs and Kisses or a book. The phone number, 866-870, or a T-shirt. I didn't give any T-shirts away today. 866-870 KRLA. 866-870-5752, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Okay, so here's the deal. Before I went to that commercial break, there was a question up on the screen. I guess she dropped off, with these cell phones nowadays, you never know. And the question was really interesting. And it was, Warren, why do some dogs bark and other dogs don't bark? There's many reasons for that. In certain situations where the dog was overly controlled by a human being and told to shut up all the time, may associate barking with a negative reaction. That could be part of it. If there were other dogs that overreacted when he barked, if there's a couple of dogs living together and one dog starts barking, the other dog referred to assertive aggression, may go. Anyway, here's my thoughts on it. Just like with people, it's completely natural. Take it from me. It's totally natural for some dogs to be quiet. Some individual dogs like to be quiet. I've worked with so many thousands of dogs. Most of them love to bark, but I've worked with dogs that are quiet. They just want to be quiet. They could be naturally shy, not want to draw attention to themselves, as I was talking about. They could be picky about how they exert their energy as well. If barking doesn't seem worth the effort, they'll choose to keep quiet. So nothing to be overly concerned about. If you have a Basenji, you know your dog's going to yodel. He's not going to bark anyway. But sometimes people just assume that all dogs they're all going to bark, they're all going to do this, they're all going to do that. Let me just state this for the record. And if you want to come and take me away and put me in a home, I'll deal with that. No two dogs are the same. No two people are the same. That's what drives me crazy about so many people in the field of training. Every dog they work with is trained the same way. Every single dog. Listen, I don't use clickers, but they're a great way to train a dog. Some dogs react well to them. I've had some dogs that didn't. You heard me talk about that. Open bar, closed bar. Some dogs react, some dogs don't react. Every dog is an individual. And a qualified trainer or a qualified behaviorist before they put their hands on a leash will try to sit down and evaluate that specific dog to determine what approach, what methods, or combination of methods they're going to use. There's no one method that works for every single dog. Just doesn't exist. That's exactly why when a qualified trainer, let's say you were to hire me as your trainer, okay? By the way, I'm not available at the moment. But let's say you were, and so many people ask me to refer trainers to them. I would come to your home. I prefer that. I would come to your home. I would sit down with not just you. I would sit down with the entire family, and I would say, listen, here's the bottom line. This is what we need to do to resolve the issue you may be having with your buddy, dog or cat. Because if one person in the family approaches it one way and another person in the family approaches it another way, that's the definition of neurosis. So it's really, really important to understand that not all dogs are the same. Not all dogs are trained the same. It's really important that every person, and that's why I believe that a good trainer or a good behaviorist works as much with the person as they do with the one that doesn't walk upright. Because getting that person to understand why the dog is behaving a certain way is the best resolution to resolving a problem. Yelling, screaming, prong collars, shock collars, and sending a dog away, that's not the way to resolve an issue. You're having the problem. I'm not having the problem with your dog. You're having it. So from a trainer's perspective, a qualified trainer's resolution should not be how the dog responds to him, because quite honestly, a qualified trainer can get a dog responding in a few minutes. It's not that difficult. It's how that dog's not only going to respond to you, but how that dog's going to respond to every single member of the family. Is one person doing one thing, another person doing something entirely different? I know I'm on a tangent here, but I just this week, every shelter is so overwhelmed with dogs and cats, but so many of the dogs that are winding up at these shelters and it breaks my heart, it brings tears to my eyes, are dogs that have no problems, but were created to have problems by the people they live with. And then the people decided, you know what? I don't want him anymore. I just posted something on Facebook. It broke my heart. I hate when a pair is broken up. There was a pair of young, beautiful Rottweilers, a breed I'm very familiar with. I actually trained them in the town of Rottweil in Germany. Beautiful, beautiful dog. They were brought to the shelter because the guardians were moving. They were moving. I'm not calling these were owners. They weren't guardians. They want to take the two with them. So they brought their male and their female, brother and sister, lived together from birth, to a shelter. The brother was adopted and he went home today. The sister is still at the shelter. If you go to my my Facebook page, facebook.com/Warren Pet Talk, facebook.com/Warren Pet Talk, take a look. Take a look at the face of the dog that was separated and left behind. And why is this so dear to my heart? When I went to adopt Molly and Willie, who were brother and sister, and I went to this shelter, High Kill Shelter, and they told me that I could not have them both. I could have one or the other. And they separated the two of them that were together their whole lives. When I got to the shelter and I refused to leave unless I had both of them in my arms, I refused to leave. And when I had both of them in my arms and when I brought them both together again, now you're going to make me cry. The expression on their faces, the looks on their faces were absolutely amazing to be brought together again. So I just hope that it's not always easy, and rather that one gets a home, but if possible, I just really prefer that bonded pairs be adopted together. But I'm gonna take a break. I got lots of open lines. Last couple of minutes of the show. If you got a question or a comment, it's been tough to get through. Now's a great time to call me. I still got lots of great stuff to give away. The phone number 866-870 KRLA 866-870-5752. Has anyone out there used social media or found their pet via social media? I'd like to talk about that when we come back as well. Do you really understand what your dog or cat is saying to you? We'll talk about that. We still got some time though, so if you have a question or a comment, great time to give me a call. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870 KRLA 866-870-5752. And by the way, you all know by now, when I get off the air here at 1 o'clock, I do my national and Canadian show. Same type of show. I'll give you that number a little bit later. So if you're out driving around on this beautiful day or it's real hot out there, I'll give you that number. You can give me a call there as well. But right now, Ah, the littlest bird does sing the prettiest. And we're back on the Pet Show. I'm not going to take another call because I don't want to run out of time. But if you have a question or a comment, I want you to write this phone number down. This is the phone number for my national show, Radio America Armed Forces Radio, which starts at exactly 1 o'clock. Be real patient. Let the phone ring. Let it ring, ring, ring. It has to go to Washington, D.C. before they get to it and answer, but they will answer it. Same type of show. I give away the same gifts. The only difference between that show and this show is the questions are coming from all over the United States, Canada, even Guam. So that phone number, write it down. If you have a question or a comment and you want to call, you can start calling at 1 o'clock, but again, be patient. The number for the national show is 877 725-8255, 877-725-8255. And remember, if you wanted to check out the Hugs and Kisses supplements, if you go to Amazon or Walmart on Tuesday and Wednesday, 20% off on Hugs and Kisses during Amazon Prime days and Walmart Plus days. So check out Tuesday and Wednesday, Amazon Prime or Walmart Plus. Save 20% on my Hugs and Kisses vitamin mineral supplement treats. Until next week, give all your pets a big hug and a kiss for you, one between the ears for me. I'm Warren Eckstein, and thank you for listening to The Pet Show.